Hey everyone, I've been working on another video, but for the moment, because I'm on holiday, I wanted to do a quick reaction to some patches that came out in the last couple of days. So I thought I could maybe just go through each patch note, hopefully over some nice ambient train sounds in the background from the title screen, and yeah, I'll talk about each one. And then at the end, I'm also going to tell you a bit about the next couple of videos that I have planned. So, first of all, let's have a look at patch 0.1.107. Added automatic showdown setup on the context menu of monsters. So this is quite a big departure from the sort of philosophy that we understood Kingdom Death Simulator to have, I feel like. So in the past, the way that the simulator worked was that it was kind of a representation of playing the physical board game but in this virtual space, and that kind of differentiated it a little bit from things like Tabletop Simulator or like a video game version of Kingdom Death, for example, because you had to do kind of manual tasks like setting up the decks and things like that just exactly the same way that you would with real life Kingdom Death. And with this, it's kind of the first quality of life feature that we've seen them add, where now, and I'll show you some footage of this, you can just right click on the model actually of a monster and click one of several buttons to set up different levels of that monster, and it will even do the first story prologue monster, which is really handy because it means that you can get the right cards on top of each deck like you're supposed to, and it will make it exactly how it's supposed to be for that fight. So I'm interested in this, but a small part of me is kind of disappointed by this change because I kind of liked the idea of playing Kingdom Death Simulator with my regular in real life gaming group, and in that group each of us has our own little task. So one of my friends, it's her responsibility to set up each of the AI decks, and another friend writes down all of the stuff on the different settlement sheets and stuff like that and keeps a diary of everything that happens, and so on. So I feel like that's kind of taken away one of my friend's little jobs, but there's a lot of setup in the game, so I'm sure we can find something else for her to do. But nonetheless, it's an interesting change and kind of makes me wonder if in the future we'll see more changes that automate different parts of the showdown. Or the hunt phase, for example. You could have it so that the different hunt events automatically get placed on the hunt tracker and stuff like that. Okay, next. Added the ability to split AI decks by grade. This I did expect. So in the previous versions, it was quite difficult to pull out the different cards that you needed in order to make a monster AI deck, because you'd have to kind of go through and look for every A card and every S card and sort of pull them out manually into their own decks. This is kind of a bit redundant with the first change now, because I guess we'll probably just be using this to set up AI decks from now on, but nonetheless it makes it a little bit easier to just pull out certain cards if you wanted to for some reason. Rulebook is updated to version 1.6. Someone in the comments noticed that the rulebook is 1.5 edition of the Kingdom Death rules in the first couple of versions of the simulator that have been out so far, and now it's been updated to 1.6, which is really nice because that's kind of the most recent version, so that saves having to I don't know, look through a physical rulebook or consult the upgrade pack for the different changes that happened between 1.5 and 1.6, so that's nice. Additional issues causing decks and cards to disappear or record sheets to not survive soft resets. That's really huge and was basically one of the only problems preventing the campaign from being playable in the previous version. So I've gone in and tested this, and so far to me it seems like it's much easier to have the state be preserved between resets of the room, if you like, or between everyone leaving the room and coming back in. So that's a huge change and I'm really happy about that. Cards now face the correct way when shuffling a deck. That was something that I picked up on in a previous video. That's a great change. That fixes one of the smaller problems that was still happening. The miniature cabinet has new lights. Hopefully I can show some footage of that. Yeah, the miniature cabinet looks really nice now. One thing I do have to say is that in this version and the subsequent version that has a much smaller set of changes that I'll talk about in a second, the lighting does seem a little bit off to me. So there's a switch that you can turn in the main gaming room that you can turn to 3 different settings for bright, medium and dark states in the room. Previously the middle state was my favourite because it was kind of dark and moody, but you could still see things. But now, and hopefully you can see this on the screen as I'm talking about it, there's sort of a strange issue where things look really bright And this even happens on the brightest lighting setting as well. For me, I noticed that different models look a little bit blown out, and the character sheets and the rulebook are really strangely bright in any lighting state except the very dark state that you can set it to. Something just looks kind of off about it, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you can kind of compare by looking at my previous videos from different versions how the lighting has changed over time, and I think that the previous patch was a little better than this, so I'm sort of hoping that that's a bug that can be reverted, but the miniature cabinet looks great. The UI now responds better to ultra-wide resolutions. I don't know about that because I use a very small screen to play on. Removed the vignette when focusing on the rulebook to improve readability. That's something I requested, and I presume others must have as well, because yeah, it was a little bit hard to read the rulebook in the previous version. Fixed incorrect card count on monster control panel when holding F1. I'm not really sure what that means. I think when you hold F1 it shows the list of players in the room or something like that, but I'm not sure what that's referring to. Fixed issues causing information on some record sheet fields to, I guess, not persist. I picked that up in a previous video that I think I included footage from where when my friend that I was playing with would write on her record sheet, it didn't match what I was seeing on my screen. So hopefully that's that and that's fixed, which would be great. Fixed deformed text on some cards. I didn't notice that, but presumably that was just a problem with a couple of cards from other decks that I didn't see. Picking up the hunt/settlement board no longer flips it to have the hunt side face up. Instead it keeps the current rotation. I don't know if I have footage of this, but I do know what it's talking about. Yeah, if you right-clicked and clicked pick up, it would sometimes flip the hunt and settlement board over. When cards are stored in the storage set after a room reset, I think that means the storage chest, they are now stored as cards instead of single dynamic card decks. That was part of a kind of combination of problems that was preventing me from being able to run my full campaign on a previous version, and yeah, I mean that's great. That seems to be one of several larger problems that I addressed in a previous video that have been fixed, so that's great. UI size of some survivor labels was incorrect. I didn't notice that, although I did notice that Ezra is or Urza is spelled as Ezra on one of the pieces of UI, so that's something that I picked up on this version. Although I think actually that might have been the case in every version so far. Improved the resolution of the game table. I didn't notice that. I'm only playing on medium graphics settings though, so maybe I wouldn't have that high texture quality anyway. Fixed graphical glitches of some miniatures. I'm not sure what that is, but I wonder if this is the thing that was changed that resulted in my miniatures looking a little bit kind of overly bright and blown out. I'm not sure. Improved game performance and dynamic lighting. It's hard to say whether performance has gotten better or worse over the patches. I haven't really noticed a difference. It seems to run pretty well on my MacBook, as far as I can tell on every version. So yeah, that's version 0.1.107, which was quickly followed the next day by 0.1.108, and this apparently improves stability of the previous version. I didn't have any stability issues in the hour or so that I tested the previous version by the time this had come out, so I'm not sure what that's about. But I did see someone in the comments of another video saying that they were having connectivity issues, so maybe that's what this second point is talking about. And application crashes when activating Showdown automations. I think I only used the Showdown automations one time and it worked fine for me, but hopefully this has fixed any problems that people were having with that. And then not saving progress. I'm very glad that I didn't see this so far, but yeah, obviously this is a completely crucial thing to be stable, so whatever problem this is talking about, I'm glad that that's fixed. I'd like to just wrap up by saying I've got 2 videos in the works right now. So one of them is a physical in-person video, which is kind of a Christmas-themed video, I guess, or an Atmos-themed video, if you like. My plan is to do kind of a big unboxing of like 6 different packages that are all waiting for me at home at the moment. And yeah, maybe that'll be fun. We can just go through each of the boxes, see what kind of stuff I ordered, and yeah, maybe have a look at the different gear cards and things like that. Hopefully that'll be fun. And then the second video that I've got in mind is a kind of tutorial teaching you how to set up your campaign at the beginning of playing a new campaign in Kingdom Death Simulator. I've done that a few times for every patch now, So yeah, I think I kind of do it without really thinking. But I know that some people have maybe owned the game for a long time but never had the chance to play it, or they've just not played it for a long time and they've kind of forgotten how to get started. The rulebook makes it fairly straightforward to get started with a new campaign, but I realise that it's probably maybe more entertaining or easier to just watch a video where I talk you through it. So hopefully that will be useful. And yeah, I look forward to you seeing those videos too. I'm going to try and be less self-effacing about my videos because I think I was getting into navel-gazing territory in my previous one, so I won't say any more about that at the moment. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this short video, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next couple of videos. Happy Christmas, and yeah, bye!